I'll be reacting to the Heike story episode 9. I'll be watching it from Funimation's website, and I'll be starting my reaction in 1-0 go. Oh yeah, I'm pumped up. Oh this. Dun, dun. And I always love the Funimation sound too. Plus Ultra. I even love the name of their logo. It sounds freaking cool if you ask me. Now, kind of making me wonder whose perspective is the episode going to focus on this week, because last week it was mostly on Sukimori's side of things. So I wonder if it's going to focus more on him and Koimori coping with the responsibilities they have after, Sukimori passing away, or I wonder if it's going to focus more on Biwa. I wouldn't mind either way, though. Oh, it's so cute the way she eats food. I am not going to blame her for scarfing down food that quickly, though. I mean, considering that she hasn't really had much of a bite to eat, ain't surprising one bit. Aw, fucking adorable. Especially with the way they introduce themselves, too. I mean, she sort of has to, and besides, even if she didn't owe them due to those three saving her baking, who could say no to those adorable faces? I know I wouldn't. This is actually what I like about this series, because even though, yes, the Heike story does emphasize that there's a lot of sad moments in the Heike story, a lot of it also emphasizes the fact that you can have some nice, happy, lively moments interspliced with the sad, depressing moments. Because if the series would have been filled with nothing but dire moments, it'd be hard to gain an appreciation for the characters if they were just vehicles of suffering from the start of the series to the finish of the series. And see happier moments like this, not only does it give the characters extra bits of characterization, because at least we're witnessing how they are in happier moments, it further makes things much more intensified when something bad happens when you have happy moments like this, because then it makes at least me go, oh man, this suffering they're going through is making me feel really bad, because I can compare it to when the moments were happier. At least that's how I feel about those type of moments. And plus, they're lively to see, too. Speaking of which, the opening does a great job of pretty much representing the series to a T. Only because you have nice moments, but then you have the darker moments interspliced. And speaking of which, I'll give Science Star some credit. They did I wouldn't say a bad job with Japan syncs, but they did an uneven job. Here, they're doing a great job from start to finish. They've definitely grown as a studio. I mean, she definitely should. Oh, I love that bit there. Shows you how much she misses Koimori, and the others. I wouldn't blame her, though. Hope they can reunite someday. She actually would do well with those, considering that she could be playing music, too, whenever those three do their beautiful dances, although that's actually damn surprising that they're worse than the Heike. Considering the Heike were pretty, I wouldn't say fucked up, but they were pretty messed up in the first episode. I love the way she squeezes them cheeks. Oh, snap. All right, hopefully that means she can encounter her mom. Oh, talk about a way of, completely destroying all the happiness and, in the snap of a finger. Oh, my. I mean, yeah, you could argue that they deserve an award. Maybe monetary gain, maybe some treasures like gold coins, silver coins, and things of that nature. But to like ravage, I mean, that's going a little bit too. No, that's going way too fucking far there at that point. But then again, that's how certain clans operated, and that's how some certain countries with certain soldiers operated too. The thing is, they don't have much luxuries. I mean, the Kike have been on the receiving end of consequences falling upon them due to the decisions of the old guard. I mean, there's not much they can. Yeah. Well, I'd love to agree with her when she says there's only one emperor. The thing is, though, that title will lose its meaning if there's no power to back it up. Like, say, for example, someone could be the emperor of a playground, so to speak. That ain't gonna mean much because it's a small title. I mean, I'm not gonna blame Korimori with the losses he suffered. Most people would be taken aback. You know, Sycamore looks damn cool in that outfit. He should definitely take the man's advice. I mean, with the way he's. I like how at the very least he's considering it. Yo, and Korimori's face looks like the eyes of a man who's about to go through his own execution. The thing is, though, they gotta flee. I mean, last I checked, their forces have been chipped down. This motherfucker's saying that, but doesn't have to put himself in like the front lines to fight. It's easy for him to say. He's not the type that has to fucking raise a blade and utilize it for. I mean, that's how life is. Yeah. The thing is, though, there are times in life where you can't fill out your obligations because of external circumstances. Like sometimes external circumstances won't give a damn about what your obligation is. I love that. You see how much Sukimori has matured over the last few years in just that single sequence alone. That was amazing. Why'd I get the feeling that there's more to it than just that? Why'd I get the feeling there's going to be a trap? Because this feels way too easy. And if I know anything about. Aww. I like this. It continues seeing Toko's selflessness. Because even though she's in rough shape, she wants the people around her to be in great conditions. Aww. Oh! Aww. Oh, okay, I got him. That was probably one of the one of the most touching scenes in the sequence in the series because that's the first time we hear her boy talk, and the first line's dialogue was him showing concern. Well, no, actually, no. We've heard it. We've heard her child talk multiple times. This is the first time we've seen her son talk with like really a well composed sentence. Let me correct myself there. The thing is, the wife fight. There's gonna be nothing heroic about marching towards your deaths. especially if there's a way of avoiding death. Even though I've never been in a combat situation, I can sort of relate. Like when their life is kicking you down, you're not going to want to be chatting about pleasantries. Sometimes you just want to be in your own isolated space and just think deeply about things. Oh man, part of me doesn't want to see what Bill was seeing. I hope they don't because it'd probably be something depressing. Oh man. But eventually, not just him, pretty much everyone's kind of changed now, and I'm not gonna blame them. I mean, it's a manager for multiple years being on the up position, and then now you're in the lower position. I wonder if Biwa sees that somebody's gonna die. Yeah, she probably does. I wonder if Kiyosune is gonna commit suicide. He probably will. Oh, oh no. Oh man, that is. Oh man, that is one of the roughest ways of going down. Only because I heard when you drown, like your lungs are crushed, and that's one of like the slowest and roughest ways of going down. Oh yeah, they're too late. Yeah. The thing is, though, it's oh, honestly, that's gotta be one of the roughest things too. I mean, all I knew was because she, one of the people that was really a really big figure in her life, died. I mean, hopefully, that'd be the last thing that wanted to piss off Bill when, especially after what she experienced, well, more like what she saw. But hey, you know what? I hope there's some damn layers of optimism somewhere. Hopefully, it's her mother. It could be because the hair is super white. Yo! Oh. I hope it's her mother. Oh. Oh, okay. At least it's nice to get some context on the whole thing. Now it kind of makes you wonder since that's a damn good point. And the biggest question is how did. Wow. Honestly, I think Biwa should have came. Be- Don't get me wrong. She should have came regardless because it gives her closure in her life because it's better than not knowing. She does not deserve to be to call herself a mother at all. Shit. Even though she wasn't related by blood to. Hell yeah. Biwa's a damn beautiful. Well, don't get me wrong, Song is a beautiful name too, but Biwa just suits her much more as a name. Oh. Okay, at least that line of dialogue. Aww. Actually, do hope we get to see Biwa pray more often. Yeah, because it's probably going to be the only thing she can do. It'd be better than nothing. And I like this. At least here we see they will have a means of now dealing with the things that are happening around people that she loves. Aww. All right. Well, that was like one of the most heartful moments in the whole series. I feel like they skipped a lot again. I mean, come on, Science Sorrow. You skip a lot of. And I checked. Apparently, this series is listed for 11 episodes, which now no wonder why the series was rushed because I thought this series should have been like 24 episodes. Man, I would have loved to have seen that bit by bit, though. Like the process of him getting that close, instead of it just being told through exposition, though. Because with the way they're doing it is a little bit too abrupt. Because here's the thing about this series: this series has strong characters, but the way it handles its plot structure is, at this point, it's kind of bad because they skip through every monumental event that's interesting. Okay, that was satisfying to see. But still, though, it kind of just felt a little bit abrupt. Again, it felt a little bit abrupt. I would have loved to have seen like a full episode of Biwa being with those three girls. And again, I would have loved to have seen Tsukumori actually suffer through some failures in battle and then see them reasoning as to why he had to retreat. I mean, Tsukumori is a damn great character. I just feel like there's like, don't get me wrong, a great episode regardless, but they're rushing things now. It's going too damn quick. And yes, I understand that it's based off of history and all that, but damn, that doesn't excuse how they're just skipping through a lot of stuff that would be interesting to watch, though. Because I call other anime for similar things, so I'm. Still interesting stuff to see regardless, though. Speaking of which, you can definitely tell that this series is too ambitious for Science Sorrow because there's a lot of stills, too. Like, you can tell that their production, like their animation team probably either doesn't schedule well enough to be able to pull off these grandiose sequences that you know they want to pull off, but they can't. This is definitely giving me what would be an anime comparable to this? Got it. It's giving me some Sunny Boy vibes. Literally, you had an ambitious script, but the animators couldn't really put that ambition on screen. Exactly like Sunny Boy, actually. Not in narrative structure, but with how the animators are just way above their league when it comes to being able to handle the material. Okay, now this is getting interesting here. Oh man, that cock is. Oh snap! Whenever we hear the Biwa play like this, bad shit usually happens in this series. I gotta admit, the animation here is damn good though. Now this is what I'm talking about. Now this is when the series really looks damn good. It looks gorgeous. Whoa! Oh damn! Oh my! You know what I'm noticing with the motif and the last. The thing is, though, Dev doesn't discriminate between old and young. Oh. Ah. Oh man. Okay, that was. I'll give the episode this much. The death scenes that they do have, they fucking hurt a lot. So this episode is still great from a character standpoint. Ah. All right. This episode was great, but it also shows all the vices that this series has from a script. This is weird. From a character standpoint, the episode was absolutely fantastic. But from a story structure standpoint, it fell spectacularly. Like, I don't know what the fuck to feel. Like, this episode succeeds and fails simultaneously, but it has more successes. Let me explain why. For one, let me start with Atsumori's death. It was impactful because Atsumori had a lot of buildup. But this definitely gave me the vibes that if you were going to kill off Atsumori, maybe they should have had maybe an episode dedicated towards showing the lead up to Atsumori being in a compromising position to be killed. Maybe having his death in a separate episode. Because when you have Atsumori's death in this episode, but then you have another substantial death in the same episode, it doesn't work. I mean, that type of stuff may work in some series. It doesn't work in this series, and let me explain why. Okay, here it is. Kyotsune's death was impactful, but the thing is, you had his death, and then you have a span over who knows how many years, and then you have the death of Utsumori. It's like, if you're gonna have these major moments, space them out. Because with the way this series does it, at least for me, doesn't give me enough time to process the emotions, because I'm like, oh man, I feel sad that Kiyotsune died. And then afterwards, the series is like, oh no, forget that Kiyotsune died. We're gonna have Atsumori die an epic death. And don't get me wrong, that death was sad, but the way they did it was too damn quick. I felt like if they would have spread out both of these events in 2 episodes, it'd have been perfection, honestly. And here's another thing that's worrying me about the script. You literally had Biwa spend some time with the Shirabayoshi girls. But the thing is, they only spend like maybe a few minutes. I felt like that type of stuff should have been expanded for maybe, I don't know, an episode in on its own. Because I would have loved to have seen Biwa bond with the girls and all that before being separated, because I found the dynamic to be pretty fun. I think it would have, at the very least, allowed the series to balance itself out a bit more narratively if you would have had more happier moments interspliced. The way this series did it, it was too abrupt. It was too quick. It was like the writing staff had like these bullet points that they had to cover, but they sacrificed proper pacing due to wanting to get to the grandiose moments. And that's where I feel this series fails from a story structure standpoint in this episode. And then you have like these figures that were antagonists in the series introduced earlier on, and they just die. I'm like, oh, okay then, I guess. It's like, holy shit. This series really needed to just slow things down. But at the same time, I still have to give it a rating of great, because here's the thing. It was poetic with the way Kiyotsune killed himself while playing the flute, doing what he loved before he took his own life away. The series gave Biwa a lot of closure and showing off the mother Asagi, and it made a lot of substantial progress, because let's just be real, we finally have a set goal for Biwa, which is, even though yes, she can't do anything directly, she's going to spread the story around of the people that were close to her that have died, and she's going to remember them, and she's going to at least pray for them. So at the very least, she took something from her mother, even though her mother didn't provide much for Biwa. And that's why I thought the episode overall had positives going for it, but it was flawed too. Which is a damn shame, because I feel like if this series would have been like straight up 24 episodes, this series would probably be contender of like top anime of the year. Hell, if this series would have been properly paced, this series would have had a chance of being in my top 10 anime of all time list. But the pacing really fucked it up. But great episode though. It's weird. This series is like one of the weird ones where I'm like, it's super rushed, yet somehow it pulls it off because of the great characters. Now let me go on to much more positive things though. The character development. Biwa finally has found her conviction. She acknowledges that she won't be able to do anything, so she's going to at the very least make up for it by praying. And I like that. It fits Biwa's character to a T, which brings up the question. Her mother and father are blind, so it makes you wonder if the blindness is going to be something that she's going to inherit eventually, and she's going to become blind when she's older. It's really making me ask a lot of questions now. But regardless, I love the growth for our main girl. I love the growth for not just her, but for Sukimori, because I love how he did consider the option of wanting to escape and retreat. Shows you his maturity. And it shows you the character digression for Kitsune, where the circumstances have gone so bad, he took his own life away. And I love that. It portrays not just character progression, but character digression well, because when someone is in such a emotional funk, they don't persevere through adversity. They sometimes break apart through adversity, and they do crazy things to themselves. Unfortunately, in Kitsune's case, he killed himself, which is damn sad because he brought so much joy in the series, and it's unfortunately snuffed out. So that's what I loved about this episode. It only made his death more painful. And also to see that afterwards, Atsumori died too was really sad. And it really, really was, oh man, it was heart wrenching because they gave him so much build up too. So seeing him go down the way he did was depressing, you know? So that's also another thing that I also really liked about this episode too. And that's why I thought from a character standpoint, it was incredible. Oh, and that bit too with the Emperor speaking those words of concern for his mother was actually really damn sweet and cute. So that's what I also loved about this episode. Just the little subtle bits of extra characterization. And that's why I thought the episode was fantastic overall because of the character writing. The character writing itself is great. So that's where I'm still going to give it a high rating. Now, when it comes to the animation quality, my goodness, Science Saru, they went all in. Well, yes, maybe some of the warring sequences, the way they were edited, were abrupt. At least when they had to make the Atsumori death sequence look good, they made it look incredible because the dynamic nature of that fight, the build up with like the sad, somber sounding music, really hit it home that yeah, he wasn't gonna make it, and it only made the whole death scene sadder too. So I'll give credit to the Science Saw animation staff. They did a great job overall. I thought also the arc was at least on model, and the voice acting was amazing. And that's why, despite the issue with the plot structuring, the character writing was so well done that I'm still going to give the episode a 9 out of 10. Which this is like the most conflicted 9 out of 10 I've ever given in my in all my reaction videos. Normally when an episode has this much flaws, I'm like 6 out of 10, 5 out of 10, 4 out of 10, or 3 out of 10. But since the character development was so substantial, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna still give this a high score. But what I will do is I will harp on all the plot structure stuff once I give off my series overview, which doesn't seem to be that far off because I hear that it's going to end in episode 11. At least the rumors seem to say that it'll have 11 episodes. I have no idea if that's true or not. I mean, I wish the series had 24 episodes, but a lot of people think it's going to be 11 because of Funimation saying that it's. And apparently, I'm not checking my anime list, but the original book has 1,000 pages. Holy shit, the original book has 1,000 pages. That explains why. Okay. So that explains the issues with the series. And the issues have nothing to do with the source material. I guess it just happens to do that. The episode count wasn't enough. Because if we're talking about 1,000 pages, that means the series really should have had at least 24 episodes. Well, then. I guess that explains all my issues. It was the producers, whoever was in charge of providing the episode counts or the budgets, they're the ones at fault. I guess I can't harp on Science Saru that much now. Now getting the context that the book, according to my anime list, is over 1,000 pages, apparently. Which, holy shit, if it's 1,000 pages, let me do the math, because if that's 1,000, because let me divide it by 24, because an episode length is 24. That needs to properly adapt the whole thing. It would have at least needed 39 episodes. And they chose the route of 11. Well, holy fuck. No wonder why it feels so rushed. Damn. But yeah. Regardless, though, considering that the animators have to deal with these circumstances, they've been doing a good job so far. All things considered, because most anime that have to deal with these type of similar circumstances utterly and epically fall apart, and this series somehow hasn't. But regardless, though, I'll still mention the grievances I have with the super fast, super rushed pacing whenever I react to the last episode, because that's when I usually do an overview, and I'll be sure to lay on everything I have an issue with. But at least for now, though, I still love the series a lot. And it only seems like I'm talking roughly because I actually care about this series. If there was a series that I did not give a shit about, I would have just given it a low rating and called it a day without giving too much detail. But since I love this series a lot, it's different. It's way different. I'm much more inclined of detailing specifically what I liked and didn't like about it. Due to me loving the series a great deal. But yeah, these are my overall thoughts on the episode, though. I enjoyed it a lot, but it had its weaknesses, though, that I'm assuming are going to rear their ugly head once the series hits its finishing stretch, because that's what usually happens when anime like this. I know because I've seen all the non-sequel, non-spin-off animes for, well, at least most of them for 7 seasons straight. And I've seen these signs before. Various times. But overall, though, for what it had, it was incredible. And I'm definitely pumped up for episode 10. But anyways, y'all, these are my thoughts on the episode. I would really love to hear your thoughts on how I feel about my reaction or the episode itself in the comment section below. Hope y'all rate the video, share, rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all later if you come back for more. But anyways, y'all, thank you very much for watching my video, and have a fantastic day, everyone. Bye-bye.